Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. We're celebrating Halloween with a horror villain showdown bracket. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is...
Hey guys, it's Prague.
Murdering this bracket, this is DeLorean Wolfgang. I don't know.
Hopefully you've seen our tweets or Instagram posts with the actual bracket, so you know kind of what we're running off. But we'll be able to try to describe it as best we can. And the idea is we're going to figure out who is the best horror villain. And so to figure that out, you kind of have to pick who do you go with. And so there's quite a few that we didn't even make the list. But this is kind of, we're going to have four main rules. Hopefully you've listened to our best sequel bracket because it's similar to that. Remember when Shrek 2 almost beat Aliens? We'll hopefully have fun with that.
Ouch.
It's still fun, though. It's still fun to think about and talk about. I tell you what, man.
But it's serious business, folks. It's serious. So
serious.
Take it serious at home.
With this horror villain showdown, with each matchup, we're going to try to figure out the scariness and the character design of the character. And then the longevity and relevancy. Like every Halloween, does this character come up? Or there's a ton of movies made. Do they keep popping up? And then how remarkable or noteworthy are their kills? Like, are there ones that you remember like, oh, that was a really good kill by this particular character? And then finally, how would they match up if they met, you know, their movies crossed over and they actually fought each other? How would that kind of break down?
Gotcha.
Which I really think they need to make more of those anyways. I found, what was it, Freddy versus Jason? I found that to be a very fun movie. Like, do more of that type of stuff. Just have fun. Horror movies are so dumb that it would be fun to have more crossover.
I agree.
Yeah. And so before we do get to our actual matchups, we had a bunch that are honorable mention who didn't actually make it. So Jack Torrance, he didn't make it.
We got to play the sad music at this point.
And then there's the creature from the Black Lagoon, Pinhead, Invisible Man, Hannibal Lecter, Norman Bates, Carrie, Annabelle, The Thing, Audrey 2, Candyman, Alien, the girl from Ring, Sadako for the Japanese version, or Samara from the American version. And then there's Pazuzu, which is the demon that is going to possess Regan and the Exorcist. But all these didn't make it.
And then there's Pumpkinhead. There's also, there's so many.
There's every zombie in every movie ever.
Babadook.
That too.
Remember the Babadook conversation we had?
I try not to every day.
You know, why don't we just throw that episode up? Hey, everybody, this is the Babadook conversation. We're just going to throw it up and...
No, let's get to the bracket instead.
So with our bracket, we broke it down into 4 sections. There's slasher villains, classic movie monsters, small but deadly, and supernatural. So we're going to start with slasher, which is in the top left of the bracket, with our first matchup, Michael Myers against Ghostface.
So I like
Myers
this matchup.
He's a funny guy. He's pretty funny. Maybe he would make Ghostface laugh to death. That might work.
So I married an axe murderer. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Woman. Whoa, man.
Whoa, man.
Yeah. Michael Myers.
Sorry, wrong Michael Myers.
Also
everybody.
Shrek?
The other Michael Myers versus Ghostface from the Scream series, which is different people every time.
Yes.
So that's interesting too. So you got like this boogeyman guy versus a human in a Halloween mask. What about let's start with the character design. Which one do you guys think is more iconic, fun, scary, whatever?
Oh, that's so hard to say.
This is going to be a tough one, I think, for that.
This is probably, I would almost put this one almost like in a top ranked one, because Ghostface alone, you could show Ghostface to anybody right now. But then again, Michael Myers is the same way. It doesn't matter. Eat both ways. Like, they're both so iconic.
It's also the different space for Michael Myers. So it's really iconic for a lot of people.
Right. But that's the thing is, like, both of these characters, in their time when they first came out, both revolutionized horror the way that we look at it now. Like Scream did it a certain way and Halloween did it a certain way. And we look back at those movies and we think like, wow, this really pivoted the horror genre into something brand new and something new and fresh and fun that ushered in so many other horror movies behind it. Because Michael Myers, without Michael Myers, you don't get Jason Voorhees, you don't get Leatherface, you don't get these other horror icons. But his mask is like so spot on. That's a tough one.
No, that's actually a good point, because Ghostface, like that movie Scream, is really like kind of a take on horror films, especially Wes Craven's own films. Like he even parodies his own films in that, like as a send up. So it's really more of a kind of a send up of the genre rather than, and it became genre defying in and of itself because of that. I just wonder, like, do you think, because Michael Myers, the mask they use in all the different films do kind of change a bit, whereas Ghostface is the same mask. Period.
Same mask every time, yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Would it be as recognizable if it were to be mutated or changed in some way as Michael Myers?
There's
think, is it like if someone wore like the Ghostface mask, but it wasn't sad face, it was like big eyes and like, I don't know, like angry looking or something. I don't know. Yeah, but it not.
If they used something that was less iconic in a way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or if they
Whereas Michael Myers, Michael Myers changes, but you always know it's him.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I like the boogeyman aspect of it too. Like Michael Myers just as like he has no face. Like the face on the Michael Myers mask is just the most blank, expressionless. There's nothing there. Like it could blend into a crowd if it had color and whatever, but I don't know, man. This one's a tough one. Why did we have to start here?
Well, let's go with a few other stakes. We also talked about like, who could win if they're facing each other, right? So if they won face to face, I don't think that whoever's playing Ghostface would stand a chance.
No.
But they do know scary movers.
Yeah, Michael Myers is intimidating though. Like just the sheer size of him.
And if you even watch the Rob Zombie Michael Myers, I mean that was a WWE wrestler. Like you're looking, very intimidating. The dude doesn't talk. I believe it was Kane who played him, and the guy is massive. He's insane, but he's always been big. He's always been big, even back in the 70s. He was huge back then.
On the flip side, to Prog's point, though, Ghostface knows what's going on. Like, they're so well known on the whole like horror thing, and Michael Myers is not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Right, he's just a big dumb lug that runs around and kills people.
He always carries a big sharp knife from the drawers. But they both do. But at the same time, Michael Myers is immortal. Like, he's fallen off of a second-story building.
That's what happens with all these characters, though. So that's ties into the longevity thing. As they, survive, even though they shouldn't, they have to make that character bigger. It has to have a bigger pedigree to be able to deal with all the being able to come back over and over again. So when they start off, they're not immortal. But after all these movies that they've made, they become more and stronger and more immortal and stuff.
Right.
But if Ghostface is always somebody different, you say you killed one of the Ghostface and somebody else picks up the mantle. Michael Myers is always Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. Michael Myers is always Michael Myers, but again, he has survived so many different... I mean, he's survived having his head cut off. I mean, in one of the movies. But in one of the 20,000 movies that they've made with him, he's survived being thrown into a fire. Like, I mean,
so that ties into the
Ghostfaces.
Longevity aspect. There's been how many Scream movies? 5?
I think
5, and now 6 coming up.
Yeah, and so how many Halloween movies? They've rebooted it like every 10 years since the first one came out, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe 7?
You think just 7?
8?
I feel like there's been 7 since the year 2000.
because there was H2O. There was.
It might be 8 or 9 actually. Hold on.
And Halloween,
right. Halloween might be a lot.
3, Halloween 3 doesn't count because Michael Myers wasn't even in Halloween 3.
I mean, it does count, but yes, it's not a
He
Michael
wasn't
Myers
even in
movie.
it.
It's not a Michael Myers Halloween movie.
Yes.
Yes. Love that movie.
Well, we may have to go into a vote if.
Yeah, let's vote.
Well, can you think of iconic kills?
I can think of an iconic kill with Michael Myers for sure. Him stabbing the guy that's hanging on the door. He lifts the guy up and stabs him against the door.
Yeah, he sticks him there. That's a great one, actually.
And then he stands there and admires his work. Like that, I always remember. Because even the silhouette, because the shot is looking up the stairs, it's a silhouette of Michael Myers standing face to face with this guy who's dead, just limp, but hanging by a knife. And just that visual alone is incredible. It's fantastic.
Okay.
Oh my god, but Ghostface has so many good kills too. I mean, the very first scene with Drew Barrymore, how he guts
some good stab edits. That's for sure.
Guts the boyfriend in front of her, and then kills her in front of her parents. Like, my god, dude, my god. These two are just too damn good. This is so good.
The second Scream too was really good with the movie theater. So there's that. I just feel like Michael Myers, but I think Michael Myers still gets it because he's physically more imposing, so he can do more with his kills overall.
I wonder if I have a bias because that new Halloween movie came out, but it feels like a movie called Halloween, and Michael Myers is just more synonymous with horror villains.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Like if you are connecting Halloween with anything, the first thing people are thinking of is Michael Myers.
So do we vote?
Oh, the song from Halloween is really good too.
He does have a good theme song. I don't know Scream's theme song actually.
And I do want to push our listeners to check out the movies that made us. They actually just came out with the horror section of Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, and Freddy Krueger. And no joke, man, it is wild how they made these movies. It blows my mind how they made these movies. It's so good. It actually made me want to revisit a bunch of them. It's very good. So movies that made us, it's on Netflix. They came out in October. They came out with the horror movie trio.
They did.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
I'm gonna go with Michael Myers.
I'm voting Michael Myers.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't have this bracket without Michael Myers moving on at least once in it, that'd be kind of sacrilegious, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm voting.
So for slashers, next up is Jason Voorhees against Leatherface, which...
This is also a real
This is a very tough one.
Because there's nothing... Like, okay, we just talked about how iconic the masks are for Ghostface and Michael Myers, and then you put on the hockey mask.
And then you put on someone else's face.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
Like, to me, Leatherface is one of the creepiest looking villains of all time. And then Jason Voorhees is one of the most iconic because of that. Yeah. He took something so ordinary that, like, anytime you see a hockey mask now, you think of him, no matter what.
Yeah.
All the time. I mean, I don't like hockey, so I don't really watch much. But when I do,
it's so wild, though. If you think about it, Jason Voorhees doesn't even put on the hockey mask until the third Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
So the first one, by the way, this is going to be spoilers for all these movies. We're going to be hitting on some wild stuff.
Spoilers for movies.
The first movie
from the 80s.
Jason wasn't even a killer he might have been at that like credit scene, whatever, but it was his mom. So the first movie wouldn't even count for Jason Voorhees. Second movie, he had a sack on his head the whole time, but yeah. But the third movie is really when he put the mask on. But I liked with Leatherface's story, they actually had like, it was almost like the found footage for the first time. You're watching this found footage of them going through the basement with the cops or whatever, and they're like, oh my goodness, wow, I can't believe this is, and that to me was like, wow, this could actually be real. I
think that's what made it scary. Is it made it feel real?
Like Jason and Michael Myers seem like you wouldn't have a serial killer like that in the real world. But I feel like you could find a story, like a documentary, that would be like some Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yes. With the family and everything.
Yeah.
The fact that they have a kid who's just bonkers, and they raise him to skin people and wear people's masks.
Gotta love it.
Oh man, I thought this one was going to be easier, but this is not.
I mean, I think overall, it's hard to say that Jason Voorhees isn't the more dominant of the two, regardless. Even though I would probably prefer Leatherface just because he's creepier. He's also more horror-y. Like, there's just something grotesque about that film and about that character that's just so horror. But it's not like to me, I don't think like slasher icon with Leatherface like where I do with Jason Voorhees. I'm like, God, that guy is like the slasher guy. So
yeah, but it's so tough though, because after his third movie, it almost became less about the movie and more about the kills. Like, it was like,
that's what any of these movies are like that now. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, but with Leatherface, that movie, like we just mentioned, it felt real. It felt like, yes, we could go to a small town somewhere in the Appalachian Mountains and we're going to come across a couple of these families. Like, I'm not coming across a Jason Voorhees who is another immortal type of monster.
So you don't think it's that scary then? Okay.
With Relevancy, there's way more Friday the 13th movies than Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Of course. Right. So the longevity may not be there, but I still feel like people know it. Like, you're not going to go around and not have people know, who he is and what the movie is.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think Jason, more people are going to know Jason above Leatherface.
And if they fought each other, Jason is immortal, but a chainsaw is awesome.
Yeah. And the kills with the chainsaw. I mean, do you guys have any top kills with any of these guys?
So in one of the newer Jason movies, there's this sequence where this guy's running up ahead of him, and literally he doesn't even slow down. He grabs an axe that's like in a wood block. He picks it up with one arm and throws it over his head without slowing down and hits the guy square in the back. The athletic feat to do that is so impressive.
So that was the new Jason movie, and I thought that new Friday the 13th movie was good. I thought people bashed it for no reason, but it actually showed Jason, rather than just being this statue that you're scared of and he walks towards you and then just shows up behind a tree somehow. It actually shows him as like a mountain man who's creating these intricate little devices to actually capture his prey. Rather than, being just an ominous, like, oh, I'm here, and the intimidation factor, like you said, of him sprinting, like having Jason sprint is scary. That is some scary stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But my Leatherface kill is the guy's hanging by his arms. Leatherface takes the chainsaw right in between his legs and just goes straight up the middle. That is a gnarly kill right there, man.
It's more grounded. It's more gritty, gross.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just is. Yeah. But Jason's more fun, I think.
Well, yeah, because if you go into like the Jason takes over Manhattan or Toronto. He does. There's a whole movie called Jason Takes Over New York or Manhattan. I don't know, but the majority of the movie is him on a boat getting to Manhattan. And let me tell you, that was one goofy movie. Or Jason X, where he's in space.
Oh, that was bad.
In space.
It was in space. Let's vote. We're taking too much time on all these.
We're taking way too much time.
All right. Well, what's you guys vote then?
I gotta go with Jason.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Jason.
I'm going to go Leatherface on the opposite of you guys because it's more grounded in reality. But Jason moves on. So Jason and Michael Myers for slashers. Let's go. Next one. Are we doing, where should we go? Classic? Or
we can go small but deadly.
Okay.
You just go straight down. And so this is the bottom left. We have Chucky against Leprechaun. And so with this, the reason Leprechaun's on here because we talked about Leprechaun, and Leprechaun's in like 7 movies.
Is he 7 movies?
Yeah.
But Chucky's in about 7 movies too.
Oh, Chucky's and a bunch. There's the brand new TV show, and they keep trying to reboot Chucky.
They've tried.
I had no idea that Leprechaun was in that many movies. Holy cow!
Yeah. Leprechaun takes over the hood.
Leprechaun Back to the Hood.
Back to the Hood.
Wow. I would say the longevity is definitely Chucky. He's the more iconic of the two. Doesn't necessarily mean he's the better of the two, but he's the more iconic.
He's definitely more iconic.
I think
character design, though.
I would be more scared of Leprechaun than Chucky. I feel like Chucky, if he was running after me with a knife, I feel like I could just punt him through a window pretty easily.
Yeah, I feel like he's definitely puntable.
Yeah, but Leprechaun, I don't think that I could do much damage to him.
Yeah, I think that's what the problem is with anything that's small in a movie, is that you can easily just kick him or move him or throw him, right? So it's really tough because he doesn't really have like super abilities like Leprechaun does. Like he doesn't have like supernatural abilities to do things.
Even though
he got a lot easier
supernaturally.
No, I know, but he doesn't have like this. He doesn't do like
he
magic
can't like transport around. Yeah,
like snap his fingers, disappear.
Oh, but you know what ruins it for Leprechaun is all you got to do is throw shoes at him, and he has to clean them. He has to clean the shoes. Oh God. Oh no.
Yes, I forgot about that. That's the best.
Oh Chucky will not get distracted. If Chucky's gonna kill you, he's going to kill you.
Well, he's gonna kill anybody. He doesn't care.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna just make my vote now. It's Chucky.
Jesus. Okay. I'm gonna have to go
any farther.
I'll vote Chucky just because he's more iconic. He has the better design. Maybe not the scarier, but I think aesthetically, like you know Chucky from a mile away. Whereas Leprechaun, like you'll know it's a leprechaun, but you don't know it's the leprechaun.
Evil leprechaun.
Yeah, so I would go with Chucky. I think his movies are better, even though they're just as cheesy in my opinion as Leprechaun. That's it.
I forgot that we were gonna ask about the kills with them, but I can't even really think of a good Chucky kill.
I can't either.
I like that in the new one he like throws the maid into a bunch of knives that are in the dishwasher. That was kind of fun. Her whole face went in it and all the knives.
Oh my God.
And the other one that was fun is when he puked up whiskey on the dad and electrocuted him. That was fun. He's like,
I was thinking of the Leprechaun kill where he uses the pogo stick on the
guy's
my
God.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's pretty good too.
Sorry.
I love dumb movies like that. Oh my God.
I'm sticking with Chucky here.
No, I'm going with Chucky, but I wanted to give a shout out to that Leprechaun kill.
You know what? I'm glad that he made the list.
Yeah. It's an honor just to be here.
Yeah. Tip of the hat to you. All right, small but deadly. Let's move on.
And so now this one, we just talked about Trick or Treat. I didn't really know much of Sam until I watched the movie. And then this one was tough. So technically the villain is Jigsaw, who is John, and he's an adult. He's a full-sized grown man who's dying of cancer. Billy, though, is the little puppet thing that he uses that's always there. He rides a little tricycle, and it's super creepy. So that's why he's small but deadly. And so with this, you got to take in the whole Saw idea versus Sam.
Yeah, there's no... I don't know how we're going to compare these two, because...
The
kills in Saw movies are just over the top gore fest, like every contraption you can think of. And all Sam does is beat you to death with his popsicles. It's like, lollipop.
Well, after he slits your Achilles and then he crawls on the ceiling to show his cute little pumpkin face and go, blah.
So with this, I think that Sam is creepier when he has the sack on his face. But I feel like Billy is just creepy with the how bad the paint job is, and
right. It's like somebody demented made him. Like somebody who is clearly disturbed made him. And you're like, oh God, I want nothing to do with this thing that's talking to me on a TV.
Here for myself, I find myself I would watch Trick or Treat 100 times before I watch another Saw movie. I'll probably never watch another Saw movie. Those movies are too much for me.
I like the Saw movies.
I can't do it. I watched 1 and 2, and then I was like, you know what? This is a bit too extreme for me. Like it almost got into like that. Yeah, it got into that like torture porn, almost where it was like upping the ante every time.
By the time you get to 4 and 5, it definitely is on that.
Oh God.
And that's the thing is like that to me is not enjoyable.
And then spoiler alert, John dies in like I don't know what movie, and he finds other people to carry on. And Saw likes to be super twisty of who's actually doing it, but Billy remains the same.
Right. Yep. Well, and I like that Billy's intention, or not Billy's intentions, Sam's intentions is just to keep Halloween a thing. Keep the Halloween spirit alive. And I like that because it's not just cute. He's cute, but he's deadly. I don't know. Like Billy is creepy as all hell, but
well, the thing is, Jigsaw's doing it. Yeah, there's so many Saw movies. There's one like if there was a comic series that it was referenced, or there was somewhere where Sam literally, when you go to well-known kills, he killed one person.
Yeah,
right.
It's tough. It's tough to compare kills.
Two. He killed the woman in the front yard.
Who else did he kill?
He killed the woman in the front yard.
Oh, he did. That's right.
He didn't kill the bus driver. I thought that he killed the bus driver.
No, the kids on the bus come back to finish him.
Kill.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like Billy didn't get one kill.
No, touche.
Well, I mean,
if you're associating Billy with John, then yes, I understand what you're saying.
Well, he sets like Billy introduces what you have to do, and if you don't do it in time, you die. So, kind of
the same thing. Yeah. Oh man, you know what?
I think more people would know Billy versus Sam.
I think that Billy has more of a wider audience, but I think that Sam has more of a, like, I could go to Walmart right now and I could buy a Sam toy.
Sure.
I could go to Target, buy a Sam toy. Like,
they have Billy toys.
I've never seen one.
Really?
Never.
They do, but I wouldn't say it's as prevalent as Sam, and that might just be the marketing people trying to get it out there. And they're probably on the shelves because no one's buying them.
Yeah, if they went against each other, if John created even the most ornate contraption, Sam does have supernatural powers.
True, he does. That's the trick up the sleeve, you know.
I'm voting Sam just because I enjoy the movie. And I enjoy Sam. I think Sam, mask on, mask off, I think he's awesome. I like what he's about. And there's rewatchability for myself. I can't watch this all. So I'll let you guys fight this one out.
Cool. I'm gonna go with Billy.
I'm gonna go with Billy until they make more Trick or Treat movies where Sam is starting to become like Michael Myers, and there's a bunch of ways that he's started killing people.
Yeah, which understandable. I really hope that they do start making sequels.
They should just do a Sam series.
Yeah,
I think Sam, that'd be awesome. Sam 2, Sam 3, Sam goes to space.
Yeah, Sam goes to space. The last movie is Sam's Club. They make a whole club of Sams.
Where they take on Costco.
That's right, wholesale horror and
Sam's
wholesale
versus Costco. Okay, classic.
That's our first side. Oh my gosh, we're freaking A, man. We're gonna get through this.
The rest of it's gonna be easy.
This was gonna be a 20-minute episode, and we're 30 minutes in. So
you did not think that.
I was hoping. I don't know if I was thinking it, but good Lord, I was hoping it. All right, let's go to the other side of the screen.
All right.
So now we're on to classic movie monsters. And these are ones that there's the original depiction in black and white. You know, you have Bela Lugosi or you have Boris Karloff, but these characters have been redone countless times since like the 20s and 30s. And so this is pretty much every version therein of any time you've seen Dracula on screen.
So it's Dracula versus the Wolfman.
Right.
Yes.
And yes, both of them have had many different renditions. I mean, you've got like Werewolf in New York or Werewolf in London. You've got all kinds of
every version of werewolves. Yeah.
Transylvania. What is that? What is that? Hotel
Trick or Treat
Transylvania.
had werewolves.
Trick or Treat had werewolves and kind of a vampire.
Yeah,
but
they were kind of both. Yeah.
Oh wow. I think vampires are stupid.
Well, no, character design. You have a guy who wears a cape and he has sharp, pointy teeth. And then you have literally a guy who's covered in fur and has like a big, like grizzly, like wolf snout. I think Wolfman has the more iconic design. Or not like Dracula's probably more iconic of just the teeth, but I think cooler design is a werewolf.
Absolutely. I'm 100% with you.
I would say I enjoy the Wolfman look better than Dracula, but I would say Dracula is more iconic and a better design overall. You know, the whole red on black on white motif is a good look.
I think the first Dracula that they had, the bald with the really long teeth, that was creepy.
Are you talking about Nosferatu is not Dracula? That's a different character altogether.
What? I thought that was Dracula.
I didn't put him on the list either, no.
No.
Oh, well then screw it, Wolfman. I think vampires are stupid. I've never been a vampire person.
I love vampires personally, and I think that Dracula living forever could be interesting.
This is a good Twilight Showdown as well. This is pretty much just vampires versus werewolves.
Edward.
No. Dracula is his own character. Thanks.
He's the vampire.
Let's not ruin it with that, because I like Bram Stoker's Dracula as well. That was fun.
Maybe I'm biased, but I'm a dog person, so I'm gonna go with Wolfman here.
Okay.
But
right,
in a fight, who would win in a fight though? Van Helsing. Boom, get out of here.
Well, in the movie Van Helsing with Hugh Jackman, he becomes a werewolf, and that's how he's able to defeat Dracula.
Huge Jackman.
Yep, he always somehow comes up.
But Dracula could just turn to a bat and fly away. So
he can, but that's not winning. That's leaving.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, Dracula probably has the more longevity. There hasn't really been a relevant Wolfman in a while. Like, there's been werewolves, but an actual, like, Wolfman, there was that Benicio del Toro movie that bombed super hard.
Well, and then there was, oh goodness, there was that other series that was trying, it was, again, Underworld, where they were bringing werewolves and vampires against each other again. I mean, this is probably the most classic showdown right here is vampires versus, but it's not. It's Dracula versus Wolfman. So I guess that's kind of tough. Yeah.
Vote still. Just bite him and turn him into a vampire as well. They can be vampires together. Win.
Vampire werewolf. Isn't that what happened in Underworld? A vampire turns into a werewolf.
I watched that movie, and I'm not too sure if I was all there when I watched it.
I get that movie and Underworld and Resident Evil. I get those two movies.
It's the same franchise.
It's the same thing, pretty much. People are like.
So let's vote before we get too far on this one.
All right, Wolfman.
I don't know if there's much else to say. Okay.
These ones don't have as much like iconic kills and stuff. No, like Wolfman is going to kill people the same way, and Dracula is going to kill people the same way.
Yep.
Right.
Pretty much.
I'm going to go with Dracula just for how when you do like a monster mash or any kind of thing like that, Dracula's one.
The mash.
The monster mash. The monster
mash. It's a graveyard smash. All right, then I will go Dracula.
Dracula moves on.
Yeah, I know.
All right, let's continue on with these classics.
So now you have Frankenstein's monster and the mummy. And so for me, the original mummy is just a zombie that's wrapped in bandages. But then there's that Brendan Fraser mummy. And that's a lot more intimidating because he's bringing the whole plagues of Egypt.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's something else, man. It's a whole different bag of bones.
Those were really fun movies.
Heck yeah, man.
I mean, even the ride at Universal is probably one of my favorite rides at Universal.
That's why we can never get anything done on this show.
Why?
We're just talking about stuff.
No, I'm joking.
This is how we got to piece it together, man.
Oh, tangents. Yes, I agree. Frankenstein, then. What do you think?
What?
Frankenstein's more so he has a lot going on, but he's just brute strength.
Right. And if you show him a little bit of love, he's just going to be your friend.
Mommy's doing a hug. I mean, they have arms out.
But they're coming to hug you.
Yeah. Oh, my mommy. The partners end up hugging each other and falling in love.
They're both looking for hugs. They both have their arms straight out the whole time.
Oh my goodness! Wow, did you match these up like this?
I did not.
Huh.
Here's the thing: you show Frankenstein's monster love, he's gonna be your friend. You don't get that with like a Michael Myers or a Jason or anything like that. Like, if you showed those guys love, they're gonna murder you. Frankenstein's monster, not so much.
So I think it's gonna have to come down to who's like the more iconic thing you think of the most with a monster. Like if you're thinking of like a classic movie monster.
Yeah, I mean Frankenstein, those bolts on the side of his neck have been used as referential in every type of pop culture there is.
Yep.
And then there's the Bride of Frankenstein. Yeah. There's Young Frankenstein. There's a lot with Frankenstein.
Yes.
And that's the thing is like with the Mummy, if we didn't have the Brendan Fraser mummies, I would be like the Mummy's the dumbest thing out there because all it is, like you said,
torch, light him on fire, done.
Yeah, light him on fire and walk away.
Because Frankenstein's afraid of fire too, though.
That's true. Fire bad.
Oh my god! Yes, when he's on stage. Oh,
fire bad.
The "He's alive" line, though, is probably one of the most well-known lines in cinematic history.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that it's still referenced today.
In everything you do. Yeah.
Everything. It's "He's alive." Yeah.
I mean, that movie
They're
was almost 100 years old, isn't it?
Yeah.
The original Frankenstein, because wasn't it made in like the 30s or 40s? I don't know.
I'm picking Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I'm going Frankenstein as well. I think that was pretty easy peasy on that one.
Now this one is probably the toughest. So this is the supernatural bracket. And with these characters, if they did a versus, I have no idea, just because you're dealing with like metaphysical entities that don't even have any. This is beyond being immortal. This is a whole different realm of consciousness. So we're going to focus more on longevity and stuff. So Freddy Krueger is in a bunch of Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but Damien is literally the Antichrist. And I don't care what demon or anything you are, you're going to be subservient to the Antichrist at some phase in your life.
So he's the one. He's kind of OP. That's for
sure. He is OP'd.
Unfortunately.
But Freddy Krueger isn't a demon, so it's not like he's going to bow down and be a servant to Damien.
No, sure.
Because there was that whole movie, I want to say it was Freddy Krueger 3 or 4, where he gets 3 demons go inside of Freddy Krueger and make him stronger or something like that. So that right there, he's not even a demon. He's just, he's just
a vessel.
And technically, if you look on Wikipedia, his listing is Dream Demon.
Dream Demon. Okay.
So I guess he is a demon. There you go.
Oh, and that's right. It was the Dream Warriors was number 3, and I think Dream Warriors. Yeah, and that's where. Oh God, never mind. That was so dumb.
That was a dumb movie. Yeah. I will say that for me, and this just might be for me though, because I grew up in the '80s, but Freddy Krueger was everything in the '80s. Like literally everything. Like it was the biggest pop culture thing in the '80s, bar none. Like more than almost anything. So like it's hard to pit that against Damien, who
put that against anything
or anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just how much like Freddy Krueger is just so. I think it's just the scariness of you have no control because you're asleep.
Yeah, you're asleep. What are you gonna do, right?
Wake up.
Can't wake yourself up. No, you can't.
No, you couldn't wake yourself up in those movies, but
I mean, you referenced Freddy Krueger in The Simpsons and Rick and Morty.
And Rick and Morty. But I mean,
and
the
in
Omen's
Scream,
been...
and in the movie Scream, the guy in the hallway was what's his name, dressed up as Freddy Krueger. Pretty much had the hat and the sweater on, mopping the floor.
Well, yeah, you've got. I mean, you're
the sweater, the hat, and the like claws are pretty iconic.
Iconic. You could show that to anybody right now, and they would know.
Yeah. And some great kills, like probably some of the best visual kills on screen.
Oh god, there was some gnarly ones where he turned the girl into a cockroach. Ugh, that was gross.
A lot of fun ones. A lot of fun ones. Coming out of TV sets and everything, like just fun, man. It's hard. I mean, I like Damien. It's great.
Time.
People, great. But
The Omen is probably a better film too, just in terms of structure.
Well, because
everything.
It is a film.
Yeah, it's a film.
Cinema.
Scorsese cinema.
Yes, Scorsese. My pick is gonna be Freddy, and I'm not.
Yeah, I'm going Freddy as well, man. He's too iconic in every way. He might not be able to destroy the son of the devil, but he's gonna do a pretty good job and make us laugh while he's doing it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So yeah,
what about you,
I go for Freddy Krueger too, and then
all right, all three.
The sweep.
This one's fun. So Pennywise, I think if you asked this before 2017, Pennywise has not as much relevancy of just the Tim Curry film from 1990.
Curry, yeah.
But I feel like the new ones, Pennywise is everywhere. People know specifically that type of clown, the more old thing. But on the other side, we have Death from Final Destination. And I could have picked something else here, but I decided to put Death because I was thinking of all the iconic deaths in Final Destination. And then there's the idea of the actual Grim Reaper. Everyone else on this list is essentially a servant of the Grim Reaper. They're doing his bidding, but he's the ultimate one who cares of the scores that they're doing.
He's the one that sets it all up.
Dude.
Right.
They're literally doing his bidding.
The way you just put all that out there was so perfect. Like I never looked at Death like the Grim Reaper in the Final Destination movies. But my God, that was awesome.
My only thing against Death is that we never get to see Death.
Right.
So visually, it's hard for me or anyone really to be like, oh, it's hard. Like,
is he the homeless guy though?
Could be. I mean, that's a theory, right?
Yeah.
But we never truly see Death, so it's hard to like compare the look and the iconography of him versus Pennywise.
Definitely, character design is outstanding.
Fantastic.
So that is tough.
Absolutely.
And the other thing about Pennywise is that he or it can be anything really as well. Mm-hmm. So it could be whatever your fear is. So.
But there is a fight against Pennywise. A human can beat Pennywise. You're not beating Death.
That's
Death
true.
always
That's what Final
wins.
Destination teaches you.
Exactly. Don't mess with death, man. Just accept it. It's happening right now, whether you like it or not. Or do you want to be tortured instead? I don't know.
That's true. Pennywise would torture you on your fears versus just the absolutism of death.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. Wow. Ooh, that changes it a little bit. Because I was leaning on Death here, because if you think about some of the kills that happen in Final Destination, and I'm not even talking about the log scene. The log scene still is so iconic that people have nightmares driving on the interstate next to a log truck today.
Of course. You always turn to the next line over. I'm not gonna drive.
Just recently there was a cop car where a piece like a 2x4 went through the windshield, like in actual real life.
Yeah. But if we were just looking at even the first movie alone.
Well,
My God.
I think
exactly.
Final Destination for Alex.
I might have to go Final Destination. I love Tim Curry to death, and I know that.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
it is an awesome movie. It's got a great series, but I'm Final Destination just on kills alone, and I think with what Trevor said about the Grim Reaper.
Well, you cut out for quite a bit of your speech, so I didn't hear it.
Sorry. No
so
worries.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Ouch.
Because I don't even know what you said. I was going to make a pen about Pennywise too, but I like that too much. So maybe I'll stick with that. Pennywise, though, I don't know. I just feel like being tortured would be terrible. Like, I feel like more people are scared of clowns than log trucks. I don't think people are be like, oh yeah, log trucks. I go terrifying versus like clowns. Like, oh my god, I don't know why people are so scared of clowns. I just don't get it. But everyone is. So I'm like,
yeah, I'm
scarier
not.
villain.
It doesn't do anything for me.
It's definitely a scarier
well,
villain.
No, me neither.
Yeah.
I feel
like I'm saying most
scary
people are.
Yeah.
With Final Destination,
more people are scared of death. People are trying to figure out how to cheat death every day.
No, more. That's the number one. If you do a survey, death is the number one thing that people are afraid of.
It's true.
I think we just finished the bracket.
well, we haven't voted yet. Hold on.
No, I mean
Pennywise. The problem is there hasn't been a Final Destination movie in a while. Like, it was really hot for like a 10-year period, and there's nothing before it, and there's nothing really since that. And I think Final Destination 5 is a lot like Final Destination 2. Just the death at the beginning, instead of on a freeway, it's on a bridge, but it's all car-based.
Yep, it is.
I feel like Final Destination, it might be more like Saw at this point.
Where it's all about the kills.
Yeah.
Where it's trying to be creative with the kills. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like bloody porn, all that.
But do you feel like it saturated pop culture the way it has?
No, because there was no. Yeah, there was no like iconic.
There's no merch.
Character. There's no. Right. If you had a character to associate Final Destination with, then maybe.
Like, I don't even think I would have remembered Final Destination unless someone mentioned it, like you guys did. I'm like, oh yeah, those films. Like, they were good films, but I totally forgot that they existed.
Yeah, that's fair.
They're not part of they're not part of horror. Like, I don't think of horror and go, yeah, Final Destination. That's just me, though.
That's totally true. The only I forgot about it completely until HBO Max suggested it after I watched Trick or Treat, and I was like, oh, the Final Destination movies.
Yeah, that's my point for against it.
Against it or against Final Destination?
No, against Final Destination.
Wow.
Oh, you tried to trick me there, Mr. Trickerson. Trevor Trickerson. Okay. Well, I'm just going to vote right now for Pennywise for it.
And what are you going with, Trevor?
I'm going to vote for Pennywise just with the understanding that death would beat everybody on a head-to-head, but we're not doing it just on that factor.
Yeah. Of course. And I would like to go... You know what? It's already moved on. Pennywise moves on. It doesn't matter what I say at this point, but I would have... I think the death is pretty interesting. I do like that thought, but Pennywise it is. All right. I think we're going to be able to fly through the rest of this.
Well, we've talked about everybody's points. So now we'll go back up to the upper left. Michael Myers against Jason. I don't know how you pick between the two.
Michael Myers is more iconic.
You think so?
Yes.
I think so.
I'll watch the Halloween movies every year for Halloween. I will not watch a Friday the 13th every year.
The first one, maybe. Like, I like that
I wouldn't even watch the first one. No way. Knowing that the mom is the murderer does nothing.
I like it. No, it's fun.
Because how is she lifting up these camp counselors and stabbing them against the doorway way up here?
Yeah. Just saying.
She must, dude. She must be on something. But it's not the mom. It's We're talking.
What if they fought each other?
I think it would be a stalemate. We would be looking at their own universe where they're sitting there fighting for the end of time.
That's the problem.
Oh, they're marbleized. Oh, yep. I like it.
Yep. So iconic wise, I'm going Michael Myers here.
Yeah, I mean, I do know a lot of people know who Jason is, obviously.
I think what helps is the newer movies.
Sure. But I think with horror is synonymous with Halloween. Halloween is the name of the film for Michael Myers, so it just makes sense. Theme song. It's too.
I feel like the song puts Michael Myers over the top for me. I can't think of if Friday the 13th had something that got to me. Oh, it's the sound effect. Yeah.
That there, dude. Oh my God. See?
Yeah.
I forgot about the sound
effect.
That makes it
tough now. You know, just coming up with that. Guys.
They've probably been in the same number of films. They have similar kills.
They're very similar.
They're pretty much the same person with one. They wear different masks.
I'm gonna go with Michael Myers. That's my final answer.
Here's what I'm gonna say that helps Michael Myers is Laurie Strode. She's
good, strong final girl.
Good, strong character that makes you want to keep coming back and cheering for her.
Don't have that for Jason.
You've got nothing for Jason. It's literally a Jason movie.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like also Michael Myers we've kind of developed more of how broken he is. It's more of a psychological disorder with everything. Like Jason, at least I'm not entirely sure the backstory beyond him being drowned in the lake.
Yeah.
That's about it, really.
That's pretty much it. Well, and he was
bullied.
He was deformed a little bit.
Mentally disabled. Yeah.
I'm not sure. Yeah. So I would.
Michael Myers is like purely evil. Like it's literally.
No, he's pure evil.
Born evil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they even say that in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Michael Myers too.
All right,
Michael Myers runs our slasher section.
All right.
Let's
go
go
small but deadly section. We got Chucky against Billy from Saw.
Come on.
Easy one, Chucky.
Come on. Yeah,
I don't even think
I don't know what we're gonna debate here.
Yeah, there's no debate.
Chucky, want to play?
Chucky's more iconic. I mean, still to this day, he's been around since the 80s. He's still around today. We're still gonna hear about him 10 years from now. Billy and Saw franchise, I feel like is a dying breed.
Yeah.
One came out this year with Chris Rock.
Spiral. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And
Chucky, they're trying so hard. They did that movie with like Aubrey Plaza and Mark Hamill did the voice, and now they're doing a TV show on USA of all networks. They're grasping at straws to try to be relevant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think Chucky
iconic.
Is the better.
Chucky's definitely more iconic, but in terms of maybe longevity for the future, I don't know if Chucky can keep that going.
If it wasn't for Spiral, I think we would be singing a different tune. I think this would be
that's fair.
Yeah. But because I think people are kind of over that torture porn, and I think Spiral kind of got away from the torture porn a bit.
Yeah, I kind of went back to the roots.
Right, and
because Saw really should be more like even Ocean's 11, where it's more of the idea behind it, where you see it all pieced together. You know, it's a jigsaw puzzle, and then the puzzle comes together. That's the idea. It's not just, oh, look, we put their head in a bear trap.
Crud,
with Chucky.
Okay.
Yeah, Chucky. Come on, it's too iconic.
Yeah.
All right. Other side.
Classics.
So now we have Dracula against Frankenstein. And the one problem that Dracula has is that Frankenstein doesn't have blood.
Yeah, what's he going to do?
So he can't suck his blood.
No.
But
so if they were
bite
fighting
him to death,
and Dracula didn't have access to other people, he would die.
He'd be like, stop, stand still for 2 seconds. Let me keep biting you and tear off limb by limb. I don't know what he would do.
Well, vampires are super strong. Yeah, Frankenstein might be super strong, but vampires are also freakishly strong.
Yeah.
I'm going Dracula here. I mean, the guy, he can live hundreds and hundreds of years. I don't think Frankenstein. I think after a while, Frankenstein's just going to start deteriorating.
Well, he'd just get rejuiced. See, Frankenstein, he could always just get new limbs reattached to him. His limbs don't mean anything.
So, but now we're looking at the same problem. I mean, you're saying Frankenstein still needs people. Dracula still needs people. Like they still need
actually
people
Frankenstein.
To keep going.
Frankenstein's monster needs Dr. Frankenstein. If Dr. Frankenstein died, So Dracula could go kill Dr. Frankenstein.
And
that's the strategy move.
That's the strategy move.
Who do you think's more iconic of I want to suck your blood versus he's alive?
Kind of a tough one, man. But I'm going to go Dracula just because even in the last Stranger Things, I mean, you had
they mentioned
characters. They mentioned, I hope it doesn't suck. You know, like there's parodies versions of it that.
So I've dressed up. I've dressed up as one of these two characters for Halloween as a kid, so I'm gonna go with that character, and that character is Dracula.
What was the last standalone Dracula thing?
Probably Bram Stoker's Dracula, or Dracula Dead Loving It, which came out after.
I feel like every doesn't this happen just about every vampire movie? They always mention Dracula somewhere where they're like...
True. Buffy has a Dracula. Dracula shows up in Buffy, actually. So he does exist in other franchises.
And that's the thing. He's bouncing from franchise to franchise. And he can. He can do that. Rather than Frankenstein, it's like you kind of have to have something set in stone for him to be around.
I mean, I don't know. I really like Frankenstein.
Yeah, there's the I, Frankenstein movie with Aaron Eckhart that it was terribly bad. That came out in like 2011. They're both in Van Helsing.
And they're
another bad movie.
Right. Oh, Van Helsing was all right.
Van Helsing's fun. It's like the Mummy movies. It's the same thing.
Yes, exactly. Well,
I wish it was as fun as those movies.
That's the thing. I can't think of any Frankenstein movie where I'm like, I really enjoyed it too much.
That's fair. I'm trying to think if you had the original two movies head to head. Frankenstein came afterwards, and literally Bela Lugosi turned down the role, and that's what gave Boris Karloff a career. But in terms of those movies, I feel like, I don't know, I might even have to go back to the books and like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Just
no
give
books.
Him a flower.
Give him a flower.
Well,
that's
I
fair.
think we've already got 2 votes for
You're
Dracula.
No, Dracula makes sense
matter.
just because of love defeats Frankenstein, and love's not going to defeat Dracula.
All right. Oh, and there's Interview with a Vampire. Fantastic movie. And I hate vampires, and I love that movie. So, yeah, there you go.
And so now we have Supernatural, where both feed on fears, essentially. That's their main thing. It's Freddy versus Pennywise. Freddy's going to find your deepest, darkest fears and go into your dreams, and Pennywise literally feeds off your fears.
2 iconic characters. These are big-time iconic characters.
This is a fun one, too, because both of them will make you laugh. Like,
you're
not just going to, you're not just going to die a horrible death. You're going to have a comedy act as well. And that's what makes this one pretty tough.
I feel like we haven't heard much from Freddy recently.
And that last Freddy movie kind of bombed. I actually kind of liked the last Freddy movie. I thought that it was interesting how they gave more of a backstory, which, wow, his backstory is terrible.
Yeah, so, I don't like the backstory. That ruined the character for me. It was a terrible movie. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need icky stuff like that. It's like, make it horror. I don't need to make it icky.
Well, but the original, they just couldn't say that he was
no, that's not what happened. That's just me.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't like it. It's gross.
No, I know. Which makes it scarier, though.
But I mean, that's really interesting. Just because Pennywise, when we've seen him, it's always about kids. Freddy has that whole kid thing, but he doesn't actually go after kids in their dream. He goes after adults.
Well, they're teenagers.
Teenagers,
They're young adults.
I guess Pennywise does go after the adults.
He does in the second.
Yeah.
Even in the 90s one, he was torturing those.
He starts with the kids
adults.
And then he goes to the adults. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Pennywise has the bias of we literally just got 2 new movies.
Right.
Yeah.
But man, think about the 80s without Freddy Krueger. I mean, like we were saying, Freddy Krueger was a MTV VJ. MTV was everywhere. And it's kind of the same thing. Like Pennywise is almost the new Freddy Krueger.
Pennywise is everywhere. Yes.
Yeah. It's the pop culture icon right now for horror. Oh. And Freddy was back in the day.
It's past versus current now.
It is almost, really.
Huh.
Who was better at it?
Because Pennywise, he didn't even come around until the 1990. But from 1990 to 2017, did anybody be like, "Oh, Pennywise"?
Well, yeah, it was pretty relevant. It just wasn't as relevant as the movies.
Freddie Krueger.
Like, a lot of people knew. I don't know. I can barely remember the 90s.
We have like 6 or 7 Freddy Krueger movies. We've got 3 It movies.
Yeah, true.
And the only reason why I say 3 is because the one in the 90s was pretty much it's all the same story. Like, we've seen Pennywise's story. It's the same story from the 90s.
Pennywise does only have one story based on Stephen King's book. They haven't been like, "Oh, here's Pennywise in a different realm that Stephen King didn't literally write."
Right.
In Hawaii. Right. You know what? I think this one, I'm just going to make my vote. I'm going Freddy Krueger.
What if they went head to head?
He would just go inside its dreams.
Does it dream, though?
I don't know. That's a good question.
But it's a living creature.
It is a living creature. It's from space. So, yes.
Yeah. I mean, if it's got a brain, I would think that it's got a dream.
Oh, I guess he sleeps for 27 years at a time, right?
Yeah, that's a long time to torture him.
And then once he wakes up, he doesn't sleep at all. Okay. So as long as Freddy gets that in those 27 years.
Oh.
It's a big window.
He slept through the 80s.
Yeah, I think you had to go with Freddy Krueger.
I'm going Freddy. Yeah, Freddy is.
I'll go Freddy to make it a sweep just because he was so iconic and I wanted to be him as a kid and my parents wouldn't let me dress up as him for Halloween, even though everyone else was.
So I want to apologize to our fans who are major Pennywise fans. Sorry, Manny and Julie. Manny, Julie, and Prague.
I'm a Stephen King fan. I'm wearing a Stephen King inspired shirt right now. And I voted against Pennywise.
And I want to thank you guys. We literally picked all the 4 number 1 seeds, and the numbering was completely arbitrary based on me. It wasn't like you have a college basketball season where teams were like 33-0 or something. I literally, but all the 1 teams made it through because I had an idea of who was going to make it through.
Interesting.
I mean, when you sent this to us, I was blown away by the list because I was thinking there is going to be some major discussions with some of these characters. So I'm stoked on this.
So
we're still not done.
The 4-1 seed. So it's the final 4. Michael Myers versus Chucky.
Michael Myers.
Well, hold on. Chucky is fast and small, so he can and Michael Myers is slow, right? He's not gonna
if he got on his back where he couldn't reach him.
Right.
He could just stab a whole bunch.
You're like,
I kind of want to watch that so badly.
Yes. And remember, you can rip off Chucky's arm and it'll still come back to him. It'll still move.
Yeah.
Take the scene from Ready Player One where Chucky's in there and he's just stabbing everything really fast, and then throw Michael Myers too. But again,
I mean,
they both are on TV literally right now. They both had something new come out this month.
Yep.
Oh man, but relevancy. I'm saying Michael Myers. The fact that Chucky has failed over and over and over again at this point.
Well, Michael Myers fails over and over again too, though. There's a reason they reboot it. They're always rebooting it with different directors and different producers. They're doing the same thing with Chucky. So they failed.
But the reboots have all worked, or for the most part have worked for Michael Myers.
Some would argue they did not.
Yeah, there's a reason.
If you're going to tell me that the 2018 Michael Myers is a failure, there's no way, dude.
It's okay.
Well, they made a second film. And we don't even know if we're getting a second film of God knows any of this other garbage.
So Chucky is a series, not a film.
Chucky is a TV series. I think in terms of Michael Myers being the boogeyman is scary, but I think that literally a toy you get as a gift coming to kill you is very scary too, because Michael Myers would literally have to break into your house. You invited Chucky into your house.
Yeah, you bought him. You accepted the terms.
It comes to the idea. Imagine if your Funko Pops or any of your figures came to life. You're in bed sleeping.
Let's keep in mind, though, the way that Chucky is made is because of a serial killer who did some voodoo magic on one doll. Like, that's why I'm not scared of my toys, because there's no serial killer going, Hexawalla, Weela Walla, Weela Walla, make me into you.
Who knows, man? Maybe in the factories where they're producing these things in China and Vietnam, there's one serial killer who's going to get the whole factory at once.
He's like, all right, here we go. Here comes my spirit.
Well, wasn't there that Chucky series where it was a robot and it had like a bad microchip or something like that? Like
that was the recent one, yeah.
Yeah, that was a bit silly.
That was not good.
They have to keep coming up with new ideas to reboot Chucky, because Michael Myers is just purely evil.
Right.
They have to come up with a reason for a doll to go haywire.
Now, and I almost jumped back to the connection is Laurie Strode. She's what makes, but then the newer Chucky movies have now brought in the kid from the original movie, and now he's going to be your good guy. And it's like, well, now I can't use Laurie Strode in this.
And then Chucky, he's gotten married. Michael Myers never has.
Michael Myers.
Spring. Hold on. Andy had a kid. And Chucky had a kid.
And Chucky split his soul into multiple bodies.
Oh my God. See, what we're saying right now is just making Chucky like go less and less on my list.
I know. I'm not going to vote for him. I really like him, so I wanted to talk to him about it a little bit. So
it's just not talking about him.
Yeah, that's it. I love Chucky more than Michael, but I'm going to vote for Michael overall.
Do you really?
Wow. I think
in terms of
Halloween,
adults are my thing. That's my thing.
That little red-headed doll is going to be less than that Michael Myers mask in terms of iconic stuff.
Sure, of course.
Like when and just for an instance, for a scene that like is sticking in my head, I can remember scenes with Michael Myers. I can remember next to nothing with Chucky. That's because
Chucky are just generic slasher kind of fun stuff. Yeah.
But like when Michael Myers takes the handful of teeth and he's in the bathroom and he reaches his hand over into the stall and drops the teeth in front of the girl, like that right there is blows my mind how creepy that is.
Ain't that the tooth?
Oh.
All right. Let's
If you're not watching on
this episode go long
and seeing our eyes roll at that one.
So we're picking Michael Myers?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
All right, he wins the left side of the bracket.
So Dracula versus Freddy Krueger. So in terms of Dracula's been relevant for way longer. In terms of when the book came out and then when the first film came out, we're talking like hundreds of years. He's literally proven he's withstood the test of time in terms of relevancy. Freddy Krueger, like I said with Pennywise, hasn't done much recently. And he only has a starting point in the mid-'80s.
And it's kind of, and it's fizzled heavily. I think Freddy Krueger, if he was to make a return, it would be on piggybacking off of a different Thrasher movie.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I think Freddy's
the way he looks
more. He's probably scarier just because Dracula's been parodied so much at this point.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, he's been good looking at times. So there's also that.
Yeah.
That's what
gross man. Yeah.
This is a tough one because I want to pick Freddy, but I think Dracula's more fitting what we're looking for.
I really want to pick Freddy for the look and the that 80s kind of head-to-head with Michael Myers, but I think Dracula is the winner between the two.
Oh, really?
I gotta look at my checklist
Yeah,
again. So strengths
I mean-
against other villains. Dracula does sleep in a coffin.
He can't come out during the day
sleep.
at all.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true.
I mean,
So
that's
Freddy
a huge
could-
weakness right there.
Yeah, Freddy could keep him essentially not able to sleep, so that way he's only awake during the daytime, and then he'd be screwed up completely.
My REM cycle is so screwed up. I got
The best
no
type
sleep.
of kills definitely goes to Freddy Krueger. Dracula again has the same kills over and over again. That's the 2 teeth marks.
Right. I mean, unless you're looking at like what was it? True Blood? Was it True Blood? That was the vampire show on.
Yeah,
It
it was
was
the vampire show. I've never
Suke.
seen it.
With
Suke.
Suke.
Yes.
Great.
Sorry about it.
I really like that show, but I always think about vampires, and that's the thing. We're not talking just generic vampires. We're talking
No.
Dracula, and I think
Exactly.
that's the issue. Is Dracula on his own he's not as entertaining as Freddy. His kills are not as. I mean, Freddy's got kills that, span into putting people into video games and killing them in a video game.
That's
You know,
fun.
he's creative.
In terms of, so we have 4 like categories. I would say Dracula has the longevity relevancy, and I'd say Freddy has the best type of kills and the strength against the other villain. And so then I think it comes down as scariness and character design. And so Dracula's more iconic, but Freddy's scarier.
Yes, 100%.
So what do you go with?
I don't know. It seems like it's
see those
split down
kills.
as close as you can between these 2.
Man, I wish our fans would let us know what they thought.
Let's phone a friend.
Wow,
Oh, boy.
man, I'm going Freddy. I'll just go Freddy just because I find him scarier. I find Freddy Krueger much scarier than Dracula.
I think it's all the parodies of Dracula.
It hurts him.
That's what's ruining it.
Yeah.
Well, even back in the day when they tried to make him, like you said, more of a suave type of guy, where he was wearing the big cape and he was good looking with the slick back hair. Right once that started happening, it was like, ooh, Dracula's not as scary anymore. Like,
I'm
That's
thinking of
part of
Grandpa
it.
Munster for some reason right now.
See, that's another thing. Very much not scary.
Yeah. All right, I'll pick Freddy. Let's do it.
You don't
I'm going
have to
Freddy
pick
too.
Freddy.
No,
No,
I
I was
I
gonna
agree.
pick
I think Freddy's just.
Yeah.
It just
He's good. He's it.
surpassed Dracula.
Man, and now we come to our final.
It's a fine.
Michael Myers against Freddy Krueger.
Two
Some heavyweights.
80s. These are 80s fellas right here.
Last when horror was kind of big, so it
Yeah.
makes sense.
Right.
That's going to be these 2. So,
Well, oh man.
Boogeyman versus the man of your dreams.
Oh, tweet, 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 tweet. Man of my dreams.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
He can do
Freddy
his- he
Krueger
can
on The
do his
Bachelor.
nails all night long. Oh, yeah.
I want just horror guys on The Bachelor.
On The Bachelor. You know,
He's
this
tall,
Michael
dark,
Myers,
and handsome.
He doesn't talk much, which makes him so mysterious.
He's that strong, silent type. I really like that.
So strong and so silent.
Let's
But,
tell you,
but
Alexa.
Freddy
All right.
makes me laugh. Oh, wow. Well, here's the thing. Freddy Krueger does not have the upper hand here because Michael Myers doesn't sleep.
He doesn't? Isn't he still human in some form?
I mean,
it's
you
kind of
never see it.
boogeyman, I guess. I
You
mean,
never
I don't
see him
know.
sleep. He's always murdering at night and during the day. Freddy Krueger.
So here's the other big difference between these 2 characters. One is kind of like your, I hate to say black and white, but kind of like a black and white, just slash and kill. You know, classic kind of slow dread kill. The other guy is flashy and fun. You know, over the top, crazy.
He has to put a show on to kill you.
Yeah, there's one person that's the showman. The other person is like straight horror. Like, oh my god.
Straight.
This is like, this is essentially a guy who's up on stage versus like the white collar worker who just goes about his business every day, and he goes and pays tickets to watch the entertainer. It's like two different types of jobs.
Yeah. So it's gonna be a little difficult.
Tough one, dude. Oh my goodness. Happy Halloween, everybody.
I think the biggest, so in terms of character design, I would say Michael Myers is more iconic, but I think Freddy's scarier, just with the claws and the nasty face and everything like that.
Okay.
In terms of relevancy, I feel like the two new movies for Halloween put him as an edge over Freddy.
Does have the edge there. I would also say that Michael Myers, to me, is the scarier, even though his design might not be as scary because he doesn't have the face and the claw hands and stuff. There's something about a person just standing there in a mask, you know, like a motionless mask. Yeah, just staring at you. It's huge, like a huge lumbering man just staring at you in his workman outfit from a parking lot or behind a bush or something. Like, that's unnerving. I don't care who you are. That's creepy.
No, that's good. See, but here's the problem is like knowing the like Freddy versus Jason, Freddy kind of loses at the end of that movie because Jason is able to cut off his head, and Jason's walking out of the lake with Freddy's head in his hand.
Yeah.
And right before credits roll, Freddy opens his eyes and winks at the camera. Like, they're both in a way immortal, but I think Michael Myers is more human than what Freddy is.
More human than human. Yeah.
So Freddy's body can die, but his entity still lives on, and he'll go haunt another day.
So if you has better kills,
I think Freddy
if you want flashy or just straight up
flash,
gore.
Yeah. I will say, well, God, I almost said, well, Freddy had a lot of really goofy sequels, but same with Michael Myers. I mean, they both went through a big slump where it was all about trying to come up with a more creative kill.
Yeah.
Yes, but both more fun than what like Saw does. Like Saw is too realistic with their stuff.
Noted.
Like I said, Freddy is turning girls into cockroaches and killing them that way. Michael Myers is just, like you said, the blue-collared murderer rather than the showman murderer.
Yeah, it's like there's so many iconic looks to his kills too for Freddy Krueger. You know, the hand in the bathtub.
Oh my God!
The TV. Like, there's so many. But I think that when you ask somebody like a horror villain, what's the first one that's going to come to mind? I bet it would be Michael Myers.
Because of relevancy for today.
I don't even think so. I think if you had asked this question like 5 years ago, I think you still would.
I'll add this to the conversation. Yeah. My wife hates horror movies. Halloween comes every year. She wants to watch Halloween. We're not putting Freddy Krueger on. Actually, the two horror movies that she will watch during Halloween is Halloween and Scream, which made that first bracket so much more fun because I'm thinking of my wife going, wow, which one would she choose here?
Right. So one is scarier, but one is more enjoyable. Is that what you're saying? Really? Because she's too scared to watch Freddy, right? But she really enjoys watching Michael Myers. So you have the better killer, but maybe one that's scarier. Does scarier necessarily make it a better villain in terms of look?
And I think we're doing too much. We might be looking too much into Freddy Krueger's sequels, because in the first Freddy Krueger movie, he's not the goofball.
Yeah, he's pretty straight up.
He's pretty straight up. You barely hear him talk. You may hear him like chuckle a little bit, but like that's about it. It's very ominous.
Yeah, but I mean, Michael Myers is the definition of ominous.
Oh my God.
He is ominous. That's his name.
Like, well, man. I mean, he was known as the Shape. Like how
the
wild
Shape,
is
the
that?
boogeyman. Like that's
the
just
boogeyman,
crazy.
the Shape. Oh, all of it.
The scene where he looks out the window and he's gone. Like he should be dead and he's just gone.
Or like him just standing behind that bush. Like the girls are walking down the sidewalk and they just see him standing at that bush. And he's gone. Oh.
So both have these iconic kind of
I know. And then but then if we're talking about these iconic moments for Michael Myers, you gotta put yourself in the boiler room with Freddy.
Yeah.
Walking down the pipes, scratching his nails across. Oh wow, dude, that just gives you chills.
Unless you're watching the, Rick and Morty. That's kind of silly and fun.
But that's okay. So Freddy Krueger's been parodied more. Michael Myers has not...
lately. Michael Myers has been online with these like TikTok dances and stuff, and people being goofy with them.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's true. TikTok ruins everything.
They really do. It's the worst app.
Guys, I don't know where to go here.
Trevor, do you have anything? You've been quiet for a bit.
I feel like Freddy's just a slight step up above Chucky, but I feel like the reason Michael Myers beats Chucky, I think, is the same reason he beats Freddy. Just to your point, Lori, there's no match on the Freddy Krueger side.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack for...
The soundtrack, yep.
The theme song of Michael Myers, Freddy doesn't have that.
No.
That's true. But if you... yeah, I was going to say Michael Myers, or not Michael Myers, but Freddy Krueger had that one movie. I think it was called A New Nightmare, but it was like Freddy Krueger coming into the real world. So it was almost like a behind the scenes with like, you actually had Robert Englund and you had the original girl from Freddy Krueger movies. And she's like, I'm actually having nightmares of Freddy Krueger. What's going on? I love that. I think that was cool. I hate this word. I'm going to use it because it fits. It was very meta.
Yes.
And I don't know. There was something so cool about that really, like, it makes me want to choose Freddy above Michael Myers. Like, so bad do I want to choose Freddy, but I don't think I can.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm going to vote for Michael Myers.
That's my vote too.
You know what? I think I have to.
Oh, it's a sweep! Oh my gosh!
I think I have to.
Nice.
At the end of because Freddy Krueger, it has less relevancy now.
I feel like Freddy is a great spot to number 2, but
yes,
it's not like he's terrible. It's super close, but I feel like Michael Myers just defines a horror villain.
Yes,
he's the classic slasher guy. Yeah,
he doesn't need any supernatural invade your dreams. He doesn't need any special magical stuff. It's not some weird like body transportation. It's just pure evil.
Yeah.
He's evil incarnate.
He could be anybody too behind that mask.
Yeah.
You don't know who.
Guys, this was a solid bracket. Michael Myers.
An hour and a half an episode.
That is he defines Halloween. When you think Halloween, you're thinking Michael Myers.
And we think he defines horror now. So there you go.
Awesome.
Not just Halloween.
So now let us know. Are we completely off base? Do you have we posted the bracket online on all our social channels. Fill it out yourself. Who knows? We might send you a prize.
There could be a prize.
If you made it this far, you might get a prize just for that.
Hey, and if you made it this far, check us out over on crossthestreamsmedia.com. If you don't want to go over there, check us out on all of our social media networks, which is all at Secondary Heroes. Check us out over on YouTube as well. Hit that like and subscribe button. Actually, hit that like if you actually guessed the same guy. And in the comments, let us know who you would have chosen to be a better villain. Or if there was a villain that you think should have been in the bracket, let us know. We want to know what you guys think.
Tell us.
Yep. So, that's Michael Myers. That's Halloween. Happy Halloween, everybody. 2021. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you next time.
Prog out.
I want to suck your blood. Oh, that was me turning into a bat. Sorry. Adios, y'all.